Hey guys, what's up? So this is Rahul, and this video is going to be the continuation of the previous video that we talked. And in the previous video, let me give you a quick recap of what we talked about. The previous video was about change. The title of the previous video was Metamorphosis. So if you haven't watched the previous video, then go ahead and watch that previous video because there is a lot of value to be taken. So in the previous video, we talked about how to let go of the previous self and then die momentarily, right? Because the letting go is going to be very painful. It is going to be very difficult. It is going to feel as if your purpose has been taken away from you. So, how to die momentarily and then go on to the new self, go on to the new purpose, go on to the new way of being. So, how to let go? It's basically like how to shed your skin and become a new self, just like a snake sheds its skin and then the new skin takes its place. This is exactly how we are also going to shed our previous self and we are going to move into the next self. So the title Metamorphosis was given because of a very specific reason, because metamorphosis is literally the process through which a cocoon turns into a butterfly. So a cocoon sheds its shell, right? A protective shell in which it is protected, in which it is, nurtured, and it has to leave that and it has to go out in the real world. It has to go out in the jungle where it doesn't matter how beautiful it looks. It is always in the danger of getting attacked by something else or somebody else or some other creature who might want to eat that butterfly. So in the same way, we human beings, we people, we as men and women, we also have to let go of our old self, of our old persona, of our old ego. You can say of our old self-image, of our old identity. You can use any of these terms to understand this concept. And when you let go of it, momentarily you're going to die. Momentarily you're going to be very, very weak because the process of change, when you are changing, you are vulnerable. You are unsure about yourself. You have a lot of self doubt. You don't have certainty in what you're thinking because you are still building. You are still being built. Okay. So you're not sure. You're not solid then. But when you go through this, temporary death, when you go through this metaphorical psychological death, and then you enter the new way or the new self or the new persona, the new self image, the new identity, then after some time you are going to be feeling grounded, you are going to be feeling confident. So we talked about that. We talked about how human beings find our purpose in layers. So human beings are like an onion, and every layer is a purpose. So the more we peel layers, the more we do new things, try out new stuff, take risks, and go here and there, try out different things. The more we try out different things, the more we come closer to our core purpose, to our core being, to our core nature. Okay, whatever that might be. So life is a process of peeling off the layers and finally reaching towards the core. I think this is one of the purposes, or this is one of the main things that life is about. This is the one of the main things that everybody should strive to do, to find their core purpose, to find who they are at their core, who they are at their center. And for that, you have to peel off a lot of layers. So we talked about that. I also shared my story, one of my biggest breakups, one of my most painful breakups of my life. And I also shared how it changed me, how I went through that. I also shared how I went from school, living in a small town, to college. And then from college, after the college, I started doing a job. And then after doing a job for like 2 years, 2.5, 3.5 years, I built Menoverse and I started doing Menoverse and I started coaching full time. So there is a lot to learn in the previous video. I have also given an analogy of a pregnant woman. Just like a pregnant woman is building a new self, a new life inside of her, and it will be fatal. It will be deadly for her if she tries to keep that life inside of her, you know, permanently. It cannot happen. She cannot keep that life inside of her permanently. At some point of time, she has to let go of the life which is forming inside of her, of the self that is forming inside of her, of a boy or a girl or a child that is forming inside of her, and she has to give birth. If she doesn't give birth, she biologically will die, and the baby is also going to die. So that was what we talked about in the previous video. And the previous video was more like a, big picture kind of video. It was more like a macro level view, macro level perspective of this change of human life, of what we go through in order to change ourselves and in order to become a better person, in order to find who we are, in order to find our true purpose, in order to find our true core, the core confidence, in order to find our identity, who we are, what do we want to do in life, all these things. So we talked about the macro of life. We talked about the macro perspective. And in this video, I want to go micro. And in this video, I want to tell you step by step how you can apply this practically. So get ready, because this video is going to be very practical. This video is going to be something that you can apply in your life. You can see where you are in this cycle. You can see where you are in all these stages. And this video is absolutely going to be amazing. I'm so excited to share this video with you. And I am loving this new format because I can bring quality ideas and I can bring deeper topics to you that you might not hear anywhere else, that you might not see that easily on the internet. Because on the internet, most of the advice is like a feel good advice, and it is not a very deep, solid advice that you can remember for your life. It is not applicable for your life. But these kind of advices, these kind of videos, this kind of information and knowledge is going to be applicable throughout your throughout your entire life. And these are not advices that I'm sharing from a book. This is my personal life, my personal experiences, what I have learned, what I have gone through, what I learned from different people, what I learned from different teachers, different mentors. So this is the reason I'm sharing this video with you, and this is the reason this new format is so much exciting for me. So before we begin, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. If you're not a part of my personal group, if you're not a part of my personal tribe, then the link of that group is going to be in the description. So just click the link and be a part of that group, because we will be doing weekly Q&As on the group, right? And it will be free for all the people who are only part of that group. So if you are not in that part of group, there are two links given. The first one is Telegram link. The second one is WhatsApp group link. So you can join anything. You can join anyone. You can also follow me on Instagram so that you will be notified whenever I'm doing a free Q&A session and free webinars. So if you want to, know deeper about these topics, if you want to shoot your questions to me and get answers directly, then that will be the best way. This is completely free and this is extremely valuable. This is going to be extremely valuable for you, and there is a lot of wisdom to be gained. So go on and join that group, join my Telegram group or your WhatsApp group, whatever you want to join. You can follow me on Instagram for daily updates, to know me better as a person and to know what I'm working on and to know what are the things, what are the new products that I'll be releasing. That being said, let's get started into the meat of the video, into the main topic, the main subjects of the video. The first thing that we want to understand is self-awareness. Our ability to look at ourselves detached from our suffering, from our pain, from our pleasure, from our belief systems, from our ideas, from our identity. So we want to, we want to detach, we want to break away from our ego, and we want to cultivate this ability to look at ourselves from a third person's perspective, to look at ourselves as an outsider's perspective, as if you are out of your body and you're looking at yourself. So you want to be observing your thoughts, you want to be observing your feelings, you want to be observing the patterns of feelings, the patterns of thoughts that you feel on a day-to-day basis, that you think on a day-to-day basis. You want to be observant, and you want to be very, very, you want to know what are the things that are exciting you, what are the things that you now find boring, that you now find pointless, that you now find meaningless, right? And I want you to know all these things. And this thing can only happen through deep inner work. So I understand that I'm starting this video with something heavy as deep inner work, but I'm pretty sure that if you really are serious about change, if you really want to change into a new person, and you want to be, you want to become a new person permanently, you want a deep inner change, then I think you will be able to take this step forward. So the way to receive, the way to achieve that kind of self-awareness, that kind of, self-consciousness, is through meditation. So you can do meditation. Meditation is simple. You can do guided meditations, but I will advise you do headspace meditation, or do the Vipassana kind of meditation, which is just focus on your breath every day. Focus on your breath for 20 minutes every day. So do it regularly. Do it on a daily basis. So just focus on your breath, incoming breath, outgoing breath, incoming breath, outgoing breath, and be aware of what you're feeling in your body. Be aware of your thoughts, and whenever a new thought tries to come, don't hurt yourself. Don't blame yourself. Don't abuse yourself because a new thought came up and it break your focus. It broke your focus now. It's okay if a new thought came up and your focus was distracted. That's okay. Let that new thought pass away and then focus on your breath again. So just sit there, close your eyes in silence, close your eyes, sit in a peaceful, quiet, location, and just look inside yourself. This is basically isolation, and this is basically self-reflection. And also build a new habit of writing. Build a new habit of journaling your life day to day. Even if you just want to write like one page, that's good enough. If you Even if you just want to take out 5 minutes or like 3 minutes or 2 minutes to just write one page of what you felt or what you went through today, or how did you feel about today, or what happened today, then just write that. So start journaling your thoughts, start journaling your life, start documenting your life, so that you can read and you can see the pattern, what is happening to you again and again and again. You can see, understand, what kind of habit patterns your mind has, what kind of mental blocks you have in your mind, where are you stuck in your life. Unless and until you do this, you'll not get a good idea of a bigger picture. You will not get an idea of how your mind is working and what kind of feelings are bothering you. So start from building self-awareness, start from meditation, journaling, right? Start from you know getting off of social media and not using social media 24/7, right? Use social media only like 1 hour, half an hour a day if it is required, right? Or you can just, if you want to talk to somebody, you can just call them and talk to them, that's fine. But don't use social media a lot. Don't try to just constantly distract yourself with information, with mental masturbation, with like junk food advice, with the junk self-help advice that is out there on the internet, right? Look at yourself, trust yourself, know that the answers are somewhere inside you. Know that you will find the answers if you start working on yourself. So the first layer of change, if you want to be aware of the change and if you want to actively change in an effective way, is self-awareness. Now we are going to talk about the second thing also, which is the when you start to when you start to feel that the previous purpose that you had, or the previous persona or the ego that you had, it no longer motivates you, it no longer inspires you. You no longer find excitement from it, right? It seems pointless, it seems meaningless. So we'll go into the next. Sorry. So once you have self-awareness, then what you want to do is you want to be aware of when the previous persona that you had, like for example, at one point of time, i was working I was working in digital marketing. I was working as a brand manager in a marketing and advertising agency, and for 1.5 years I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. It was a phase. It was a phase that I was going through. It was a stage of my life that I was going through. And I had a lot of fun in that corporate sector, meeting new clients, talking about new business, figuring out how to market different brands, how to market their products, how to market their ideas, how to market their websites, etc., etc. So I was having a lot of fun doing that. But at the end of it, I felt that what I'm doing is pointless. Like, it is not really providing any real value to me. I am working for somebody else. I am working for other brands, and I'm managing like 10 brands. But the thing is, this is the work I'm doing for them, and I am getting paid minimally for it. I'm getting paid like 35,000 rupees for it, and I hated it. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I am working almost 6 days a week. I'm reading new books. I'm trying to improve my skill set. I'm trying to know new things. I'm trying to, learn about marketing more, about business more, about sales and advertisement a little bit more. Nobody else knows as much as I do in this area. So I started feeling a little bit pointless. I thought that, if I can market for somebody else, I can also market myself. And I have a skill. I want to own a business. I want to own a brand. So why not market myself? So at some point of time, I started feeling, that what I'm doing was a little bit boring. It became a little bit monotonous. It became pointless. It felt like I'm just doing it out of obligation. I don't really want to do it. I don't really have a deep desire to do the work that I was doing then. That was the first realization. The second realization was when I had a fight with my boss, right? So my boss one day called me and he was like, Rahul, you need to, get a little bit more clients. So I already had like 8 clients on my shoulder, and he was trying to put 5 more clients. So that would make 13 clients. And I did not want to take 13 more clients because I was almost investing all my weekends with those, with those other clients, with those different business owners. I wanted to have the weekend for myself so that I can go out and game, so that I can go out and improve my communication skill and work on my game. So that happened, and it fucking frustrated me a lot. When I had that fight with my boss, I was very frustrated. I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? You can see that, I'm giving more than I should for this fucking stupid salary of 30,000 rupees, and you want me to do even more? Like, there is a limit to how much you want to push your employees. There is a limit to how much you want to push your coworkers. Right? I am willing to work a little bit more, right? Instead of 8 hours, I am willing to work 10 hours happily without complaining. But it does not mean that if I have given you my hand, you're going to hold my collar. It doesn't mean that if I, start working, like you will start to take advantage of me. You will start using me more than I am allowing myself to be used. So that happened. And I felt very angry. I felt very frustrated. I felt like I was trapped. I felt like I was his slave. This is what I felt like. I felt like, you know, I am running errands. I'm an errand boy for somebody else. And I did not want to feel like that. So I went home. I had a very bad day that day. Very bad day. I spent a lot of time with myself. I sat down. At that day, obviously, I drank a lot. The next day, I was like, okay, fuck it, fine. This fight is going to happen again. I'm again going to get into trouble with my boss. So what I want to do now is I want to find a way to leave this company. I want to find a way to, you know, do something of my own. So it became pointless. And in the meanwhile, when I was working for the sales, marketing, and advertising, industry for like 3.5 years, there was this, new thing that was building up inside of me. As we have talked about getting pregnant, right? So I was getting pregnant with new ideas. I was getting pregnant with the new desire, with my new ego, with my new persona, with my new self-image, with the new me, the new self that wanted to come out. The new self was the self of a coach, a YouTuber, right? A business owner, somebody who was coaching, a teacher. This is what I wanted to do in life, and it was coming out. It has been building up inside me since last 3.5 years, and now I have had fucking enough. So I knew that this is the time to move out of office, move out of 9 to 5. So I had another fight. I made it so that they would eventually reject me. They would eventually fire me. So I had another fight with my boss. I did not listen to him. Then I had another fight with my boss. I did not listen to him. I'm like, what the fuck you gonna do? Fire me? This is what I want. Then finally they fired me, and finally I started working on my own. Finally I started YouTube, and the first couple of months, like for example, the first 2 3 months of me starting out as a coach was very rough. I'm still building, but now it's a little bit better. Now I have some products. Now I have some clients. Now I have some dedicated students. But previously, when I did that, nobody was following me. Nobody knew my worldview. Nobody knew how good I was or how bad I was. Nobody knew my skill set. Nobody knew what I had to teach them. So I had to build up. And most of the times I was broke. And it can happen still this time also, because since last, 1 year, since 2020, the lockdown has begun, and lockdown is literally fucking killing everything that I wanted to do. Right? I wanted to go out, make in fields. I wanted to do boot camps. I wanted to travel to different cities and give boot camps. I wanted to do public speaking events. I wanted to, do a TEDx. I wanted to do a, TEDx event. So I wanted to do all these things. But lockdown happened, and it has been like around 1 year, 2 or 3 months, and still the lockdown is going on. So it has been taking a toll on me, but it's fine since I'm working on other sides of the business too. But anyways, that's part of my story. But the point of that story was to understand when the previous self, when the previous purpose you had, something that excited you in the past no longer excites you anymore. It no longer inspires you. You don't have a drive to do what you were doing in the past. You don't really have, you know, energy to do it. You don't find it meaningful, right? You don't find it meaningful. So when that happens, then you have to understand that it is someday going to die out. That previous self, it is someday going to die out, and your job is to let it go in peace. It's bury that previous self with peace, with understanding that fine, we had our time, but now it's time to go. So this can either happen through, being extremely bored, like uh, finding that your life is becoming monotonous, boring, pointless, meaningless, purposeless. There is no mission, there is no adventure to it anymore. So you will start to feel this feeling. When you start to feel this feeling, understand that it is the time when the previous self, the self you had in the past, needs to either become better or needs to completely die out and let a new self take its place. So it will happen. Your previous self, you'll start feeling meaningless, pointless. This little bit like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this? I could be doing anything else with my time. Why the fuck am I working in this job? Why the fuck am I talking to these people? I could be talking to way more better people. Why the fuck am I still single? I could be dating somebody right now. The life is short. Once you start realizing that, then you have to let the previous self either build better or improve or grow a little bit more, right? That might be the case that the previous self that you had is stuck at some point in this, circle of birth, adolescence, adulthood, maturity, and death. We talked about how the self goes through a cycle. So the cycle is it gets born, then it reaches its adolescence, then it reaches maturity or adulthood, then it reaches old age, and then it dies. So these are the four or five checkpoints that a self will go through. And if your self is kind of stuck at some checkpoint, you have to understand that too. If you are stuck at an adolescence phase and you're not letting yourself, you're not letting that persona, you're not letting that inner self, the inner you, go beyond the adolescence or maturity because of fear, because of anxiety, because of fear of failure, then it can be dangerous. It can become a little bit of a burden to carry. So you want to even be aware about that. Now, when you become pointless, when you start feeling that what you're doing is pointless and meaningless, at some point of time, you are going to face an event which will break you. So it can be like getting fired, or for example, me, it was constantly getting in fights with my boss, constantly being in trouble in my office for not showing up, for not doing the work because I did not want to do it. I was like, fuck it, you fire me right now. This is what I wanted. So that is going to happen. And when that start to happen, you are going to face a major event. You are going to face something which is going to be extreme in nature. You are going to face an extreme emotion. That extreme emotion can be something like a breakup. That extreme emotion can be something like a loss of a loved one, right? So there is a concept, the hero's journey, and this is what Joseph Campbell wrote about. So the call to the new self, right? The call knocks on your door, but what we do is we dismiss it, we deny the call, we try to ignore the call, we act like the call is not there, we act like that is not our call to adventure. So what we do is we can just get stuck in that monotonous, pointless phase of life. But that call will keep coming back in life with greater and greater degree, with a more with more aggression. That call will show itself again and again and again in your life with greater and greater strength, with greater and greater brutalness, right? So at first it can be just like a feeling, a hunch that, hey, you know what, I can be doing something else in my life. But then you will come to a point where you will have no other option than to discard your previous self and move into the new self. So this is about Joseph Campbell, and I'm trying to, like tell this entire story. I'm trying to explain this entire concept in a simple way so that you understand it. Okay. So this is the call, and a lot of people deny this call. If you deny this call, then a tragedy happens in life. That tragedy can be a breakup. That tragedy can be a fight with a friend, or a loss of a job or a career, or loss of the business, or being broke, being heartbroken, somebody, losing somebody in your family, or losing somebody who is very close to you, losing something which is very close to you. For example, one of my old friends, one of my childhood friends, his father had a shop, and they had to rebuild it and make it a little bit bigger, but his father was a little bit inconsistent, and he procrastinated the growth of the shop. So since he was procrastinating the growth of his shop, the growth of the business, what happened was somebody came and bought that place out, and they literally chased those people away. They literally chased my friend's parents out of that shop. Now they were like, they were out of business. Now their business was taken away from them. Okay, when their business was taken away from them, my friend realized that this is not how it should go. It cannot go on like this. I had to do something about it. I have to take action. I have to step in, and I have to be the adult here. I have to take responsibility for my family's money, for my family's finance, for my family's income. So this is what he did. He started, learning about editing. He started learning about Photoshop. He started doing small jobs here and there, but slowly, they got back on track. Slowly, it all built up. But it took it took them to realize this. It took the loss of the business to realize what they're doing wrong. So don't wait for long. If you have a new self which is trying to come out, if you have a new, call to adventure, which is trying to take you on a new journey, be open to it. Be open to it. Listen to it. Understand that gut feeling. Understand that instinct. Understand that intuition. Once you start to be self-aware, you will understand when it is coming. It will either show up in your life as existential crisis, or feeling pointless, feeling meaningless. You know, you will either start to feel that your life is meaningless, or there will be a major event in your life that will fucking open your eyes to the new reality. So either you can accept that, initial innocent hunch, or you can wait for that hunch to become, to become a villain in your life and to break some shit in your life so that you realize it, to slap you in the face so that you open your eyes to the new reality, to your new self, to the new call to adventure that life is uh, trying to show you, that life is trying to tell you. So these are the things that will mark when you will move from one phase of the life to different phase of the life. So this change is going to be painful. As we have talked about, every kind of change is painful, but that is good. That is good kind of pain, right? Now let's talk about the next phase, which is going to be unhappiness with life and a sense of existential crisis. So if you do not accept the call to adventure, if you do not accept this new self, if you do not accept your new persona, your new ego, your new self-image, your new purpose, your new mission, your new identity, if you don't accept it, if you don't embrace it, if you don't nurture it, and if you don't let it out, then you might go into this acute depression phase. This is the reason a lot of people hit depression, or they start feeling extreme anxiety, social anxiety, extreme depression, lack of a sense of self, lack of a sense of being, lack of a sense of meaning in the life. So if you keep ignoring it, and if you successfully ignore it for long enough, then it will never come back. Then you'll have to wait for something else to happen in life. You'll have to wait for a new self to emerge in life. And for that time, you are going to be depressed. You are going to be without any purpose. You are going to be like, uh, you know, like for example, you see the engine of the car, right? When the engine of the car is turned on, the entire car is working as a whole unit. But if you take, let's say, for example, if you take the wheel away from the car, right? If you break that wheel away from the car and plug in a new wheel, the new wheel becomes the part of the entire machine. The new wheel becomes the part of the entire new, what do you say, organism, right? New system. And the old wheel, which is you, is just lying there, useless. It is pathetic. It is useless. You just become a pointless. That wheel is of no use because it has been ripped apart from the system which it was originally a part of. Just like that, this entire society is also a system. This entire life is also a huge giant machine. And if you don't follow your call to action, if you don't follow your call to adventure, if you don't embrace the change, the newness, the new you, if you don't embrace this new ego or persona or identity or self image, then you're just going to be like that wheel, kept somewhere to rot for your entire life. Just alone, nobody gives a fuck about you. You have no friends because you're not a part of any system. You're not a part of any community. You're not working for any greater cause. You're just fucking existing and wasting oxygen. You're just fucking existing and shitting over this planet, right? Shitting over this world. So that is not what you want to do. You want to be actively engaging in life. You want to be be engaged with the world around you. You want to have some hobbies. You want to have some small goals that you're, going towards. It can be anything like, I want the best collection of shoes, or I want the best collection of watches. I want the best collection of glasses, or I want to learn guitar. I want to learn how to play piano. I want to learn how to play flute. I want to, read a new book every week or every month, right? I want to do better in my job. I want to earn like 5,000 rupees more per month. I want to start looking better. I want to lift heavier weights, right? I want to start running. I want to start meditating. Anything it is, you have to be a part of some community. You have to be a part of some system in the society somewhere. You cannot just be like a wheel which is just kept aside on its own. Okay. So if you don't really follow this call to adventure, if you don't really allow this change to happen, then you will end up like that extra wheel. You will end up like that, the 45-year-old people who are living in the basement, who have no friends, who are lonely, frustrated, bitter, angry at life, angry at themselves. They hate themselves. They have hatred. They have negativity filled inside them. They are dead from the inside. They're like a zombie. So this is something that you will face if you don't follow this call to adventure. You will become a living, walking, sleeping, eating, breathing zombie. Now let's move to the next one. So letting go of the previous self or persona and focusing on the new goals. So again, as you've talked about, when that change starts happening, you have to be self-aware about it. This change will show itself in the form of existential crisis or in the form of pointlessness or meaninglessness in life. It will show itself in the form of boredom or monotony in life, like depression in life. Or it will show in the form of an extreme event. For example, a breakup, losing friends, losing a job, losing a house, losing a business, losing money, being broke, being heartbroken. Some event will happen that will trigger this change to happen. But whenever this happens, and this will happen a couple of times, this will keep happening on a periodic basis. This will keep happening on a very regular basis, right? For example, it can happen every month or two. It can happen every week or two. It can happen like twice every year. So it will happen not just once, but again and again and again. So stop denying it. You don't have to, please do not deny it, because the more you deny it, the more hellish your life will become. Once you understand that, then you also have to understand that you want to avoid, resisting change for too long. Because if you resist change for too long, then you will just become like the wheel that is taken away from the car and left there to rot so that cockroaches can stay in it. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be so useless that you start hating yourself. This is where a lot of people start feeling suicidal tendencies because suicidal tendencies are extreme anxiety, or extreme depression, or extreme introversion. Like they don't even want to talk to their family. They don't even want to talk to anybody. They don't even want to go out in the world. They just want to play video games on the computer all day long because they have given up accepting that new change, accepting the new self, the new identity, the new persona was very, very difficult and very painful for them. So they just give up because they are scared that if they try to do anything, they might fail. And if they fail, the self confidence is going to go even lower. So the fear of failure, the fear of rejection stops them from taking that next step and hence making their life worthless, pointless, meaningless. So last part is letting go of the old self. When you start feeling like this, uh, when you're aware or when you're mindful of any of these things that I'm talking about, then what you have to do is you have to talk to your old self as if it's a friend that you're meeting for the last time. You have to talk to the old ego, the old identity, the old self image that you have built as a friend that you are going to meet for the last time. So remember how, there is a good quote that I read somewhere like, one day you never know when is the last time you are going to see somebody for the last time, right? You never know which day is going to be the last day that you spend with somebody. So, for example, as kids, we used to play, we had some childhood friends here and there, and we were very close to some friends. But one day, things started changing, and all of a sudden, that was the last day that you met, right? So, imagine saying goodbye to a friend, goodbye to an old friend, right? You don't want to hate it. You don't want to be like, dude, I fucking hate you. How can you do this to me? How can you walk away from my life? You are such an asshole. You are so selfish. You are so narcissistic. You don't want to do that, right? Again, you don't want to cry just because you're losing an old self. Because when an old self goes, a new self which comes, it is better. It is more alive. It has more qualities to it. It has more energy. So your life is just going to become better by accepting this new self. Okay. So this goes away. So you have to talk to the old self as if you're talking to the family member or you're talking to a friend which you're going to see for the last time, right? So you want to sit down there and you want to really, pay close attention to yourself. You want to really go inside yourself, inside your psychology, inside your mind, inside your being, inside your psyche, inside your persona, and you want to find out, okay, fine, this is what I enjoyed previously. This is what I love doing. This is what I really wanted to do, right? But it no longer excites me. And as long as that feeling was there, as long as I enjoyed doing this, I enjoyed that previous journey. Now we have to accept that the time has come for us to move on and to close this chapter and start a new chapter. We have started somewhere, but we have reached the destination. We have to start on a new path. We have to move into a new journey because we have reached the destination. We have reached the previous destination. We have to start a new journey. So you are going to talk to the old self as if you're talking to an old friend that you're going to meet for the last time. And after that, you're going to take a moment to, if you need some time to, if you need some time to mourn, or if you need some time to be sad, it's okay. Take your time. If you need some time by yourself, just because you have lost a part of you, you have deliberately, intentionally let go of a part of you, and you are now moving into the new phase of life. You're now, letting the new self come through you. You're now accepting the new you, the new persona, the new ego, the new image, the new identity that is building up on you. So when you're accepting this, and if you want to take a day out, or if you want to, mourn or be sad for a day, it's okay. Take a day, maybe take 3 days, maybe take 1 week, and be sad for the day. Right? Remember all the things that you enjoyed in the past. Remember all the memories that the previous self gave you, that the previous passion or the previous purpose gave you. But That purpose had come and gone. The work of that purpose is done. Now you have to move into new things. The work of that purpose was to teach you new things, was to take you through a new experience so that you become a better person. So that purpose has done its job, and now you have to let it go. And then you have to accept the new identity and you have to start fresh. So take a day, maybe 3 days, maybe 1 week to be sad about it, maybe to cry, right? Maybe to cry, maybe to write your thoughts down on a piece of paper, to meditate, right? To go into isolation. The best thing to do would be to go for a vacation, like to go for a 1 week vacation all by yourself. Go out into the mountains. Just carry your phone and carry a notebook, and then write your thoughts down. Redefine who you are. Now find yourself again. Go out there and make friends with the new self, because the new self will not just enter your body. The new purpose will not just enter your body. Your new persona will not just be formed in one day. The new persona which you are allowing to come into you, it's going to be at born when it is born, it is going to be little. It is going to be a child. It is going to go through this childhood or adolescent space. So you have to nurture it. You have to really look at it, and you have to think about it, because in the starting, any new kind of form of identity, like when a change has happened, after that, you are a little bit unsure about yourself. You have a little bit of a self doubt, because obviously, this is the new you. This is the new persona that you have, and uh, you're not very familiar with how it works, right? So you have to give it some time. Let it come. Try to understand it. Again, try to understand it. Try to talk to it. Try to be with it, right? Try to make friends with it again. Try to accept it. Try to embrace it. Take a vacation. Go on a 10-day vacation. Go on a hiking all by yourself. You know, go on a trekking all by yourself. Go on an hill all by yourself. Go do vipassana. Do something else for 10 days. Isolate yourself from the normal day-to-day life, and place yourself in a safe, and place yourself in isolation where you're just by yourself, and there are no external stimulus coming at you. Nobody's trying to ask you for attention, like, hey bro, talk to me, hey bro, let's go there. Nobody's trying to tell you that you look good or you look bad. Nobody's like, there is no external stimuli. Go to a place all by yourself, get into isolation, and then understand this. What is the goal of this new identity? What are some of the you know desires, or what are some of the needs, what are some of the wants, what are some of the desires of this new persona, of this new ego, of this new you, of this new self-image or identity? What is it? Then you focus on that. Then you try to understand what kind of goals you are going to be chasing from now on, and go chase that. So this was more of a micro picture. This was more on a step by step, like more thought out, more structured version of what we talked about in the previous video. So again, these videos are kind of deep. These videos are kind of very raw, and I'm trying to keep it as raw as possible so that you can relate to me. You can relate, where these thoughts are coming from, and how, what am I trying to, you know, what am I trying to offer you? What am I trying to help you with? So you can understand this. Okay. If you like the video, take a moment to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, like hit the notification bell, and comment. Please comment on below, because the more you engage with the videos, the more you engage with the content, it will help me understand that you are, liking this content, or what are your thoughts. So if you engage with the content, if you engage with the video, if you engage with the channel, then I'll get to know what kind of videos you are enjoying, so that I can work on it, and I can bring you new stuff. I can bring you better and better and better information, and better ways to improve yourself, make yourself more attractive, right? Reach to your core, find your core, be the attractive man that you want to be the better man that you want to be the ultimate you. So please subscribe. Again, I have groups. I have my personal groups. They are on WhatsApp and they are on Telegram. So the links are given in the description below. If you are a part of that group, if you are the part of those groups, then you will be able to get onto the free calls that will happen weekly or bi-weekly. You'll be able to shoot your questions directly to me, and I'll be able to answer directly to you. There are a lot of like-minded people, So every time I'm doing a live session, or every time I'm releasing a new free product, every time I'm doing you know webinar, the free webinar, that will only be accessible to people who are in the group. So if you are in the group, you will get to know about all the new webinars, all the new Q&A sessions, all the new live sessions that are going to come, and you can join them for free. You can be a part of them. You can be the part of that for free, and you can also talk to me. You can also talk to other people. You can also find yourself somewhere in the community. So I hope you're going to do that. I hope that you're going to join the Telegram and the WhatsApp group, and follow my Instagram. Also follow my Instagram, and share this video with other people that are going through a change, but they are not able to change, so that something in these two videos, the previous video and this video, something might inspire them to change, something might motivate them to change. So thank you so much for watching this video. It was a good session, and I'll see you guys in another video. Thank you so much again. Bye bye. Take care.